opinions expressed on The Jay Thomas Show are the opinions of the host, participating callers, and/or listener emails, texts, and/or letters, and are not necessarily the opinions of WDAY or Forum Communications. WDAY 970 AM and 93.1 FM invites you to make your opinion known. We pride ourselves on exploring all viewpoints on any topic.
Do you know who I am? I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal. People know me.
I'm very happy for you.
Jay Thomas Show, good afternoon. Welcome to the program. As for many people, every day is the weekend now. Lord. As always, you are welcome on this program at any time. There's something we're talking about. You want to jump in on it, you can do that. All right, numbers 293-9000, toll-free 1-888-970-9329 as we go around the horn. Kyle, weekend exciting. Weren't you doing some virtual movie watching thing this weekend?
Yes, we were.
No, what were you doing?
That was Social Network with the
That's what it was, yeah.
North Dakota Film Society on Saturday night. Friday night was The Craft with the Fargo Theater.
How's the turnout?
Good, very good.
Good. And that was pretty much your weekend.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I watched, I watched 9 movies and continued on Ozark TV show.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, it's pretty much everybody's life right now. That's what we did. A lot of television movie watching. Port, how about yours, buddy?
A lot of video games. Yeah, we're playing. We have Google Stadia, which is like a streaming service for video games now. It's pretty great. But me and my kids doing that. I played board games too. We played the House on Haunted Hill, which is just a great game. It's like a different game every time, board game. Kind of complex, but that was a lot of fun. So, yeah, that's what we did. Hung around the house. Hoping the weather gets nice. Maybe we can do some
outdoor stuff, yeah.
Going on bike rides. Back when the weather was nicer, I was taking my 4-year-old out every day. But, then we got snow again, so
yeah,
makes it tough to do.
Yeah, it does. Spring's coming. That last round of snow we got, by the way, Cass County, rural Cass County, you're looking at some flooding problems now. Even more so, Jason Benson, Cass County engineer at 4:05 this afternoon. He's going to join us. Also, a lot of requests from people concerned about their taxes and things that have changed. What is taxed? What's not taxed? My retirement. So, matter of fact, gentlemen, that's filled in for you when you did your
Mr. Busick. Ken Busick?
Yes, Ken Busick, the tax man.
He's a smart guy.
He is. He'll join us to answer the questions if you have them, folks. And, again, he'll join us at 3:05 this afternoon. And the food banks are really taking a hit. Melissa Soblik, president of the Great Plains Food Bank, at 3:35 this afternoon. And some stuff I'm hearing locally. And I don't like doing the rumor thing, but my sources, I feel pretty good about my sources. Yeah, one of them being I'm hearing that the West Fargo City Commission tonight is going to vote to waive liquor license fees for any establishment that holds a liquor license in the city of West Fargo, and not just for the month, but for the year.
Well, I think they should. I mean, just for nothing. I mean, just those businesses in particular. I mean, all those businesses that we go and we gather at to have fun, to eat together, to socialize together, what have you. I mean, they are taking it on the chin. So anything we can do at this point to make their lives easier, man, let's do it.
Yeah. And I know you just wrote about this. I don't see it happening. And I'm hearing that there's a real push. Of course, the mayor of Fargo, Dr. Tim Mahoney, I'm hearing behind the scenes that he's really pushing hard for shelter in place. No, I believe a shelter in place, Rob, the way it's set up here in North Dakota, a city can't put in anything stronger than what the state does, correct? So, I mean, a mayor can't say, okay, I'm ordering shelter in place. That's got to come from the state here in North Dakota, correct?
That's my understanding. Now, I think something that Governor Burgum could do, and maybe somebody could correct me, but my understanding is what the governor could do is he could release counties and cities to do what they feel is best.
Okay.
So the governor could say, we're not going to have a statewide shelter in place, But Fargo, if you want to implement one, you can, and then the state will help facilitate that. And honestly, I think if we're going to do it, I think that's probably the way to go. What Fargo may need in terms of a shelter in place could be a very different thing than what Lignite, North Dakota, could need in terms of a shelter in place. So, and really, I think that's a lot of the mistake where we're seeing sort of nationally, this argument about how, North Dakota's just one of 5 states that's not doing it. One of the benefits, one of the areas, hate Trump or love him, one of the areas I think he's doing great is he's not approaching this like past presidents, where a lot of times, the past presidents is a hurricane or something, they put themselves in the driver's seat, and everything runs through the federal government. Donald Trump's been a breath of fresh air in that he's telling, hey, states, lead.
Yeah.
Because that's how our system of government in the United States was designed. It was designed on a federalist system where we had sort of a unifying, we have an umbrella government, but most of the leadership was supposed to take place at the state level. Now, we've spent decades now getting away from that. And frankly, I think it's refreshing for Donald Trump to push us back in that direction.
Hold on, Rob. Hang on here. I just got a message from one of our elected city officials here regarding what we were just talking about. And this person's telling me just the opposite. The city can go harsher, but not more lenient.
Okay, I don't know.
I
don't know. And the problem with these jurisdictional overlaps is a lot of times it's not as clearly defined as we would like it to be. And I don't know. I mean, this is probably something for the elected leaders. I could tell you as a personal level, I would not mind if Governor Burgum came out and said, "Hey, Fargo, you do what you want to do. If you feel like you want to do this, do it."
You don't want to see you don't want to see Burgum do the whole say, okay, this is what we are doing in North Dakota.
Right.
But if you as a city want to do it, go ahead. I don't see Governor Burgum doing a shelter in place order. I don't know about where you're at up there in Minot. I know here the streets are pretty empty, although there are some businesses that you go by and go, wow, this is like a normal Saturday afternoon. The place
the
is
grocery
packed.
store seems is a normal place right now. I spent some time because I had to make a grocery trip on Sunday, and I spent some time just driving around. I hadn't been out of the house.
Yep.
So I just drove around a little bit just to see the lay of the land. And man, Minot was a quiet, even by Sunday standards, it was a quiet place on Sunday. So honestly, I think it's working. I really do. And we don't want to be reactionary. I don't have a problem with being proactive about things, but I don't think we need to. I think we need to be very cautious about statewide solutions. I think we've done a lot of the top level stuff we can do. I think it's time to maybe start, fine tuning the policy to the areas that need it the most.
Yeah, you're not going to treat a Fargo, West Fargo, a Moorhead like you would treat Carrington, North Dakota, or a Mike. It's each place is different. And I wonder if the governor at some point will go down this road. I mean, how much longer, if he's going to do something like this, how much longer do you hold out on it? You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you're going to do it. I'm telling you, Rob, listeners, and if you folks want to, I threw this question up on my Facebook page, and man, did it explode. And the comments, I would say it's probably, it's close to 50-50. And I asked, North Dakota, one of the few states that has not done a shelter-in-place order. How do you feel about this? And if you folks want to weigh in, you're more than welcome to. Minnesota has a shelter in place. I've received a lot of emails from people that live in Minnesota, and I'll read them later on, but they're upset because they're like, wait a minute here. We live in the Lakes area. We're seeing a lot of North Dakota license plates that are popping up here and staying here now. Well, I don't know why they'd be staying over there if Minnesota's got a shelter in place. So to me, that made no sense. But I've got some other ones of people saying, look, there's a lot of people coming from the Minneapolis area. They got their summer places and lake homes up here, and they're coming up here and staying up here. And people don't like that.
There's another phenomenon, public policy, too, is how many people are going to be willing to obey the law? Because throughout history, depending on the law, there's only a certain percentage of the population that's ever going to follow it. So, for instance, think of like prohibition laws, right? Like alcohol prohibition. How many people really stopped drinking during prohibition?
Oh, exactly. It's speakeasies, the mob, that gave them their power.
The willingness of the public, you've got to have buy-in from the public for these policies to even work in the first place. So public opinion like it or not, and sometimes I look across Facebook and it's like, I do not want to be governed by the social media hive mind, but public opinion matters. And if it becomes irrelevant if you start issuing shelter-in-place orders that people aren't going to follow anyway. Now, I'm not saying, I very much believe we should be listening to the experts and we should be following what they have to say. And I believe in the social distancing and all the stuff we're doing now. But as a practical matter, how much more is the public willing to take?
Well, that's a good question, because I'm to the point where I'm going like, my God, how long are we going to go and tank these businesses? And that is going to happen. The government can keep throwing money at the problem, but it's not. It eventually is not going to solve it.
Well, I'm thinking like shopping malls. Like you look at how many shopping malls are in trouble already.
Yeah.
In our country, brick and mortar retail.
Mom and pops are the ones too that are taking.
How many of them are ever going to come back? I don't know. I hope all of them, but it was tough for them even before this.
I am just, and I'm going to be honest with you, Rob, and the listeners. I'm sick of talking about this every day. I really am. I don't want to talk about it anymore. But that's all that's going on right now. This has affected so many lives that you can't not talk. I mean, I'd love to sit here and BS about, a cougar that was caught up in a tree, or the bear story that is out there. This is consuming everybody's lives, because you have people that are losing jobs. You have business owners that don't know what the hell they're going to do. You have people that are going stir crazy, sitting in their homes.
I'd like to be watching baseball, and the Democratic gubernatorial candidate got herself a lieutenant governor candidate today, Ben Vig. I'd like to be talking about that.
Yeah,
that stuff matters.
Exactly. Everything basically, for the most part, is shut down right now. And the part I don't like about this, look, you said it, Rob, the experts. Problem is, like with a lot of things, you got a bunch of experts on this saying this, and then you got other experts saying, well, no, that's not right. It's this way. We're not getting, you know what I'm saying? It's just, you're not getting, what do you believe? First we're told there's going to be this many thousands of people that are going to die, got to do this. Well, we ran the models, and our models come up this way. You just can't, I understand we've never really dealt with anything like this before. And that's the problem.
This is a completely new outbreak.
Yeah.
A lot of the data, the data from China you can't trust.
We can't trust
a lot of the data from
they haven't been
Europe,
honest with us.
Well, and a lot of the data from Europe, I think they're being honest, but sometimes they measure in different ways, or it's incomplete. They're trying to make policy decisions, and that's the problem. Is our policymakers have to make these decisions in real time. We don't get to try something out, and then if it doesn't work, like go back in a video game, go back to the last save point, and try again. It doesn't work that way. So there's nothing fair about this to anybody. There's nothing easy about this for anybody.
It sucks. It really does. More with Rob Port if you want to jump in, 293-9000. Toll free, 1-888-970-9329. Email talk, WDAY.com. And the big question we have for you, Governor Burgum has not done it. He's getting chastised for it. And I know Governor Walz of Minnesota is really kind of riding him on this. But North Dakota has not done a shelter-in-place order. How do you feel about that? You think it's time we do it, or is that just taking it too far? Eric will be first on the phones. More with Rob Port. And your calls when we come back. Jay Thomas Show. All right. I got phone calls to get to. Rob Port with us. We chat with him every Monday. We call it our North Dakota Weekly Update. Rob's World. That's what we're going to call it.
What?
Rob's World.
I don't know.
Rob's World. Still pissed off about the North Dakota Supreme Court. We'll get to that in a second. We're talking about the fact that our governor here in North Dakota has not done a shelter-in-place order. How you feel about that? And I honestly, I'm with you, Rob. I get here's what I don't get, and then I'm going to get to the calls here. You drive by these bigger stores, and they're packed. I understand people got to get supplies. But we're shutting down these bars and these restaurants and the salons and the tattoo places, whatever, because we don't want people. We want social distancing. But yet you can walk into one of these stores and there's hundreds of people in there. Well, so to me, it's almost like, well, this is, if you're going to have those open, and I know now that they're starting to do that. I know Menards, no kids. Although I'll tell you this, I was at my bank Saturday. I just found out Saturday my bank, now the lobby's closed. You can only go through the drive-through. But it's right across the street from Menards. And I'm over there Saturday about 10:30. I'm like, holy, Menards was packed with people.
Everyone's bored.
Well, and that's it. And they're going out shopping.
I think that's a lot of it. But let me ask you. What's the difference? I mean, what does a shelter in place do for North Dakota that we're not already doing?
Well, exactly, it doesn't, because if you do a shelter in place, those businesses are still going to be open, and those are essential businesses. I get the grocery stores are, but I know that some places are limiting now the amount of people that can go in, and more are doing it. Like Walmart now has said, 5 people per 1,000 square feet. That's all they're going to allow. We had to go to Target on Saturday. And they were clicking people in, clicking out. So more and more stores are doing it. But why can't the bars and restaurants? Here's my idea. You tell me what you think here, Rob. Okay. Here's my idea.
All right.
And then we'll get to these calls here because Eric's been waiting a long time. Okay. We're doing it in the stores, and it seems to, if you're looking, are we starting to flatten here in North Dakota somewhat, Rob? I know you popped up a graph.
It's a little bit.
The curve,
right?
Okay.
Because if we're looking at the daily number of confirmed cases, it's been pretty flat for a while now.
Okay. Why can't we? When's the next time we look at this in North Dakota? I don't know, 15, 20. I don't know. Everything just blends together. Why not? Give it another week. All right, maybe 2 at the most. And say, okay, here's what we're going to do. We flatten, we're bending the curve the other way. Here's what we're going to do. We're not going to open you up all the way. And for me as well, you just want to go hang at a bar. I don't hang at bars. Alex and I go on a Saturday afternoon. We go have something to eat and cocktails. We can do that on our deck, and we usually do on the summertime. I'm just really scared for these businesses. Why not say, okay, here's what we're going to do. All right, for every 10 square feet, you can have one person in your restaurant or your bar.
Yeah.
Why not do that? Start that. So if you've got 100 square feet, you get 10 people in your place.
Yeah.
You can still do the curbside and everything, but
I think
something.
I think it's hard. You may be hitting on something. One thing that's important, because I've heard a lot of people say that, like, well, everybody's going to the grocery stores anyway, so what's the point of the social distancing crap? We all have to go to the grocery store anyway. And the thing is okay, so you're going to interact with some people at the grocery store, but if overall you're social distancing, your interactions may go from crossing paths with 100 people in a day to crossing paths with 20 people in a day. And if you extrapolate that across the whole state, you're talking about, billions, trillions of interactions every day. And if you're reducing it, then those are fewer instances in time when the virus can be transmitted, in which case we should be slowing its spread. So that's what's important there. As for what you're talking about, I think eventually, I don't know if a week is the right time frame, but eventually I think some slow reactions like that may be it. The problem is how long this thing gestates before people start getting symptoms. I mean, you could be walking around infecting other people, feeling fine for 2 weeks, and then you come down with it. How many other people did you infect? That's what we're really struggling with.
Hey, Eric, we lost you. I apologize for that, Eric. If you want, go ahead and call back. Tom, you're up, Jay Thomas Show.
Hey, Jay, Rob, say this is not to do with the governor, but I clean, and I clean in a commercial building, actually an apartment building. Mm-hmm. When are people going to start taking time or taking responsibility to protect themselves?
Such as?
Because there's a lot of times I'm cleaning railings and doors, and the first thing I'd see is a guy comes in, opens the door, pushes it open with their hand. The guy, this happened yesterday, he had to have gotten cleaner right on his hand, pushed the door open. They don't glove up. They're not protecting anything.
I don't glove
this
up.
This is frustrating.
I don't glove up.
Go ahead.
I don't glove up, Tom. I don't mask up, and I won't. I'm not going to mask up because that's the other problem. We don't. First we hear, mask up. You should be wearing masks. Make your own mask. Boy, if you make your own mask or wear a cloth mask, you got to wash them every day. And then we're told, well, maybe you shouldn't be wearing masks because you're just trapping the virus into your mask. Who the heck knows? Honestly,
But the gloves, you couldn't just wear gloves or open the door with your sleeve or do something. These people don't do this, and then they run the hand right down the railing.
But Tom, let me. I get what you're saying because Tom, I'll wash my hands a million times, and then it's like, well, wait a minute, I just touched this, I just touched that,
I know.
But you got to realize we are creatures of habit. You are now. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the habit is put your hand on the railing, and that's just tough to break. It really is. I mean, I've caught myself being more conscious about doors and stuff, but I still do it.
I think there's still some hangover with American attitudes of just it can't happen here, even though it's happening here right in front of us and we're living through it. I think there's still a lot of people who are just can't happen here. And the thing is, it can. I mean, it has happened in America in the past, and it's just the problem is it hasn't happened in our lifetimes. We are a pampered people. We've had it so good for so long, and that's great. And we're going to have it good again in the future. This isn't the end of anything.
Back.
But
stadiums will be full. Restaurants.
I think
will be
sometimes, and Americans are kind of cowboys, right? I mean, I fall into this like I'm not going to get sick. I'm going to go to work. Like nothing's going to keep me back, right? Yeah. And sometimes, you should just put the mask on, wash your hands, do your best. It's not going to be perfect, but if it helps, it helps.
Tom, appreciate the phone call. Let me grab one more before the. Can you hang on, or you got to take off?
No, I can hang on.
All right, let me grab AJ before the break. Then after the break, I got Mark, I got Jim, and more of your calls. AJ Fargo, Jay Tommy Show.
Jay, how's it going?
Hey, AJ, just trying to get through this, buddy.
I hear you there. So I actually work part-time at Menards, and we've just been crazy busy, man. It's insane.
I listen, I'm not going to lie. I had to go in there, and I'm like, holy cow. Now, when I go in there, I get in, I get out. I seen you guys have put the sneeze guards up now. I don't know if I call them sneeze guards. That's what I call them. But you've put those up. But I'm sitting there doing my thing, and then I'm like, well, wait a minute. What really is this benefiting? Because now I'm touching the money. I'm touching this. I'm touching that. It's, I don't know. I just don't know how much all of this. I get the social distancing, but everything else that we're doing is it making that big of a difference? Or not.
I was walking around in the grocery store on Sunday, right, getting stuff, touching the cart, touching the money, and consciously telling myself, don't touch your face, don't do that. And then I walk out and I'm loading stuff in the back of my truck and I sneeze. So where does my hand go?
To your face.
Right up to my face. Like I couldn't stop myself. Like
And then Rob puts his fingers in his mouth.
Yeah, that's what I did.
AJ, I mean,
Jay, a couple of the other things we're doing is we're bleaching before and after we close. Everything spend a solid hour just wiping everything down with bleach, spraying the carts down and everything. And half of these people that are coming in here and I chat with them, they're saying, well, there's nothing else to do. We're just bored, so you might as well get this home project done.
Please
or
don't
build
do
this.
that. Yeah, please don't do that. Please stay at home if you can stay at home.
And you guys now have stopped having the kids in there. Kids are not allowed. 16 years and younger are not allowed in Menards. And I did notice when we walked in, they have the wipes right there by the carts, wiping the carts down. So I know you guys are taking measures, but it's surprising how many people. And you can tell if somebody's going in to get, okay, hey, I'm here, I got to get this. Or if they're just sitting there like, I'm bored, I just got to go walk around and find something to find a home project to do. Hey, AJ, hang in there, brother. Appreciate the phone call. All right, hang on, callers. Mark is coming up. Jim's coming up. You can email us, talkwday.com. We do this every Monday. It's our North Dakota Weekly Update with Rob Port. It's Rob's World.
God, don't say that.
And we're just asking, North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum has not done it. I don't think he will, and I think he should leave it up to the individual cities because North Dakota.
I don't right, and I don't. I mean, your caller there. Before the city of. I mean, they could well be right. If the governor needs to announce that the cities can go beyond and do their own thing, then he should do that. But I don't think we need a statewide announcement.
Well, yeah, you're right. That's right. I had a commissioner reached out to me. He told me, no, we can go ahead and do. Just asking in North Dakota, one of 5 states. I think it's even less than that now, that has not done a shelter-in-place order. How do you feel about that? And I'm not going shame on you. What's it going to do? Because they can't really enforce it. They can't. But if you want to weigh in, I'd love to hear from you. 293-9000, toll-free, 1-888-970-9329. I got a bunch of emails, too. More Rob Port, your phone calls. Later on this afternoon, Cass County engineer Jason Benson, rural Cass County, you're going to have some flooding issues after this last round of snow. Not good. And tax concerns you have, I got the man. I got the tax man. Kent Bruzik's going to join us at 3:05 this afternoon. Hang on, callers. We're coming to you next. Jay Thomas Show. 241. Yeah, we got to get back to these phones. And one of the emails, before I get back to the phones, well, this is a message that came in to me. 293-9000 is the phone number, by the way. Email talkwday.com. And AJ that called the city works at Menards. AJ, if you could call back, you don't need to go on the air. Just if you could shoot Kyle the answer to this. Listeners telling me they think Menards is only allowing now one person per cart. in their store. I know that they're not allowing kids 16. You can't have kids under 16 in their stores now. It goes on to say, I went to Fargo Saturday for the first time. I've been there anywhere in 3 weeks. I brought my son with me, but he just stayed in the car, just got groceries. I have a question. If someone could answer it for me, why is Shields still open? For our sanity, that's why. I don't know. I get that question a lot. Maybe I'll get somebody from Shields on. Hey, Mark, Rob Port's still hanging with us, our weekly chat. Mark, thanks for hanging on. You're up on the Jay Thomas Show.
Pretty appropriate bumper music coming into this segment. That's what everybody radar love.
Radar love,
right?
buddy.
You can't see each other. I think Burgum's doing absolutely the right thing by staying the hell out of it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I don't know if it's a selfish thing or not, but I'm getting really sick and tired of all this crap.
I am too.
And if I need to, I've probably spent, close to $1,500 at your neighborhood Menards in the last month because I've been remodeling a bathroom, and that started before this thing did. And I'm still working, so nothing's changed for me.
No,
I have to go in there, but I mean, I'm in there, and there's some people running around with gloves on, and I want to touch a little bit more on that in a second. But and a few people with masks, but most of the people in there are just doing their thing. I had to get some caulking for this project, and I'm back there, and I can't hardly read the writing on them tubes anymore.
I know, I'm with you. I always forget to bring my cheaters with me.
Right. So I'm picking up half a dozen different tubes because there's 30 different flavors trying to figure out, and I found myself wondering, I wonder if they come in here and wipe down all these tubes of caulk every night.
That's a
and
good
I
question.
appreciate what they're doing with the X's on the floor, although I will not stand on an X. I'm not going to do it.
You're a rebel.
I'll stand on either side of it, but I'm not
Just not
standing
on
on
it.
it.
Just not on it.
And then I had to return some stuff, and the guy's talking to me, and I can't hear him. There's like a piece of plastic between us. But anyway, back to the rubber glove thing. A good friend of mine lives in Winnipeg, and we talk on a regular basis because he's not happy right now. He's a prisoner in his own country. He spends more time down here than he does up there. But he's a business owner, so he's got to be there once in a while. He went to the grocery store the other day. A lady in front of him had rubber gloves on. They told her, ditch the rubber gloves or turn around. And she said, what? They said, no rubber gloves. We got hand sanitizer right here. Lose the rubber gloves or you can't come in. So apparently there's a controversy about the glove thing.
There's the gloves, the mask. Somebody just, you bring up the gloves, Mark, and I just got an email from a gal says just as easy when it comes to gloves, just as easy to contaminate wearing gloves unless you change them after each door, etc. You touch or if you touch your face. And she's right. Yeah, the rubber glove thing is, mine.
And in closing, my brother's an MD on the East Coast. A year younger than I am, and at first he was really freaked out about this, but he's kind of coming around now. But we talked, and he essentially says, look, the whole thing here is personal hygiene. If you're wash your hands a lot, and I do. That's one thing I've changed. My hands are raw.
Yeah, so
I finally had to learn what lotion's all about.
I hear you.
But he said, don't cough on people or get coughed on or sneezed on. Stay away from them a reasonable distance as far as you can, and keep your hands clean. No. He said you'll be fine.
There you go. Mark.
Whatever, but this has got to change quick, or people are going to go berserk.
I think they already are going berserk.
I think that's a point too about trying to call for more restrictions. You're going to reach a point of diminishing returns where people just aren't going to go any further. There's only so much disruption they're going to put up with in their lives, and and again, we can be frustrated with them, and we could say that sort of attitude's not helpful, that it's going to make things worse. But as a practical matter, the public is only going to put up with so much.
You're right, they are. And look, again, I get what we're accomplishing, and I think we are accomplishing with social distancing. But I at some point here. You got to start. You got to start looking at moving forward because again, people are going to start going stir crazy. Businesses are not going to be able to recover.
Or worse, you're going to see
money at
you're going to see backlash if people start feeling like the government's going too far, the restrictions are becoming too absurd. There's going to be backlash, and then they're going to stop maybe following some of the things they were following, and the whole thing's going to collapse. So
it's going to get ugly.
It's a fine line, and I do not envy the people in Governor Burgum and both up and down that chain of command. I don't envy them having to make these decisions at all.
Let's see. Jim's up next. Jim, thanks for hanging on. Jay Thomas Show.
Yeah, hi. So,
Yeah, but-
like in response to an earlier caller, you always talk about people are coming in, touching door handles, all that other stuff, blah, blah, blah. You know, before all this started, Jay, how many times are you in a men's bathroom and you watch guys walk out without even running water under
Oh,
their
yeah.
hands?
Oh, all the time.
You know?
Yeah, all the time.
So you expect people to change those kind of habits.
They're not.
You know, those disgusting kind of habits. But, so I guess it is what it is. I mean, everybody's talking about, we can't, the society's going to break down. We're not going to be able to take staying indoors much longer. You know, we're not expecting to even have our surge, I think, until end of May, beginning of June around here, from what I had heard. And, you know, I don't think and we're not being really asked to do that much. I mean, stay at home, do some other things other than going out to eat, those kind of things. I mean, my forefathers were asked to storm the beaches at Normandy, and they did it. And we can't handle just being at home for a while. I think we need to fuck up as Americans.
Piers Morgan had a great. He was on British television. By the way, just breaking news: Prime Minister of Great Britain Boris Johnson moved to intensive care. So that's not looking great. But Piers Morgan had a great thing, and he's like, "All we're asking you: stay home, wash your hands, and watch Netflix. That's it. Stay home and watch TV." Like that's the great challenge of this generation. He's talking about like other past generations, you know, they had to live, you know, and he's in England obviously, so he's talking about like living through the Blitz, and they had to go through rationing, and they had to fight the Nazis and do all this other stuff. You have to stay at home and watch TV.
All without social media, and without being able to talk to we're literally being able to see your girlfriend or your parents from thousands of miles away. They couldn't do that. They were stuck thousands of miles away, living in a foxhole. What if their next day was going to be their last? People in this country are crying about the fact that they can't go out to eat.
Yeah,
give me a break.
You make good points, Jim. For me, I mean, has my life been affected by this tremendously? No, it hasn't. Can I go out and grab something on a Saturday afternoon? No, but Alex and I, you know, we got the grill, we got the kitchen. The thing that worries me the most, guys, about this is at the end of the day, how bad are we going to kill the economy in this country? Hopefully we can return from this and get back to. And what I don't like, Jim and Robin listeners, I quit referring to this as the new normal. This is not the new normal.
No, it's
this
not.
is temporarily. Quit
That's right.
saying it's the new damn normal.
Exactly.
This is not normal.
That bothered me.
Jim,
where
appreciate
just
it,
I agree. You know, and I had are you still there?
Yeah, go ahead.
I had an idea, you know, I hear a lot of stuff about how the ranchers and the beef producers, you know, the local guys are really taking it, you know, they're not able to, they're getting low prices. I can't think of a better opportunity for them to go to their local lockers and start processing beef there and seeing, you know, putting out people, you know, delivery orders to people at their homes, because now we're turning into grilling weather, you know, and you can go to the store. There is kind of a shortage of beef at the store. You know, what an opportunity for them, and I hope they take advantage of that to get out and start selling beef door to door or online, have it delivered, so that people can go out and enjoy the beautiful weather we're starting to have and barbecue and do a little, you know,
family time,
social distancing with their family.
I'm for it. There's probably some regulations that have to be waived to make that happen. Let me just some of the latest numbers from the Department of Health, Jay.
Okay,
7,213 tests have been conducted. Of those, 225 positives in the state of North Dakota.
225 positives.
Okay. That's about 3.1% of the number tested. Now, granted, that's the only window we can look through. We don't know what sort of spread there is outside of the tested. We're going to do some things. We have a couple of rural areas that the state is going to do some more massive testing in, I think, to try to get some data that we can extrapolate from. But that's where we're at. Of those tested, a little over 3%. Of that total, of the 225 positive, a little over 14% have been hospitalized. So serious enough where they've had to go into the hospital and get treatments. Of those 32 that have gone in, 40% have now recovered or out of the hospital. Right. That's by the way, that's a new metric the Department of Health just started reporting today. Is the number recovered? So
which we need to start hearing that.
Yeah.
Instead of
I should say what they're actually reporting, I think, is the numbers currently hospitalized. Okay. I took obviously mine subtract the number currently hospitalized in North Dakota is 19. I did the math and subtracted 19 from 32, so 13 out of the hospital. And so that's a good thing, right? I mean, we're 40% recovered. That's a good thing.
Let's see, emails, then back to the phones. Would you wear a mask if my wife makes you a digital camel one? She's made close to 100 masks and has been giving them away. My Air Force daughter has made a bunch too, and to try to keep up with the request. that is absolutely fantastic that your family is doing that. And if you want me to get the word out how people can get those masks, please give me the information. But no, I'm not wearing a mask. Unless they can absolutely say you need to wear this, because if you don't, then I'm not going to live in fear. Now, I'm not going to go out there and I don't want to add, but I don't think I just don't think this wearing a mask thing. Well, I don't think they have their.
I disagree with you on this a little bit, Jay. Can I say as your friend, I wish you would. I wish you would wear one. Because I care about you, and I mean, I'm not joking here at all. But you're of the age where this has an impact.
I know.
You've smoked. Yep. I know you've smoked. As your friend, I wish you would.
No, well, I appreciate that. I just again, you have one side saying wear them, you got another side saying, and when I say sides, I'm not saying left or Dems. I'm not saying. So you got one group of people in the medical world saying, hey, you wear these. You got another group saying, nope, you could cause more harm than good to yourself. You just don't know, and I don't want to be one of these people that lives in fear. I just don't. Paul's in Moorhead. You're up on the Jay Thomas Show.
Hey, yeah, Jay, I'd just like to comment on this. We're all hoping that social distances so we can dodge the bullet. But on the other hand, are the IC units full now? That's partly what it's for. Or are they going to be over full later? And is everyone getting it now or getting it later? And the president said, well, we can only go about this for so long, and he's going to open everything up again, So I kind of wonder about this.
What are you wondering? I'm kind of lost with what are you getting at here, Paul?
Well, are we doing too much social distancing right now, and it's going to come at us when the president opens it up later? Everybody, as soon as he opens it up, we're all going to go to the games, and we're all going to be. We just hope this stuff goes away.
I think that's probably why we're going to have to do something like what Jay suggested earlier.
Ease
where
into
we open
it.
up, ease into it, because they're right. You could see. I saw an expert. They called it the Lazarus effect, where it kind of comes back from the dead, because people who were isolated from it are now suddenly exposed to it, and then we have a sort of another spike. So we definitely want to avoid that. That's for sure.
I see what you're saying, Paul. Appreciate the phone call. I think as much as it pays me to say it, because I want to see business up and running. I don't want to see people die, but I think it does have to.
I
be
do.
easy.
I'd like to be watching baseball and talking about politics at this point, but it's
no. I mean, also
happening.
they brought up sporting events, Jay. I mean,
Bob.
they will not start games again. I mean, you look at Major League Baseball, you look at the NFL.
I don't think we're going to have as a baseball fan. I don't think we're going to have a season this year. I just don't think
they won't even let them step into a stadium or onto a field without every single player getting tested.
Yeah, well, that's just the way it's going to have to be. And even if they hold games, Kyle and Rob, it could be where they hold the games, but fans just aren't allowed to attend. You're going to watch it on TV. Bob, you're up, Jay Thomas Show. Bob, we got a terrible signal. I'm going to put you on hold. Kyle, let Bob know he's got to pull over to do something there. Eric, you're up on a Jay Thomas Show.
Hey, how are you?
Hey, doing good, Eric.
Good. So I'm just a couple things.
Yeah.
For one, the common sense, everybody's got to get that back and put it in their pocket, because I think that's gone away.
Mm-hmm.
And two, going back to. So I live over on the other side of Fergus Falls, and I'm out here driving around all day. I'm a rural carrier. I don't think that we're worried about the North Dakota plates driving over here, because if anybody has listened, it's okay. They want you to get out of your house. You know what I mean? So you don't go stir crazy.
Yeah.
It's the people that are coming from Texas, Arizona, Florida that are not obeying the rules, or I guess are they rules? You know what? They're not listening. You know what I mean?
Yep. No, I know exactly, because I've gotten some emails like that too, where people in the lakes are going, look, you know what? We got people coming up here with this license plate coming up from the cities.
But that doesn't necessarily. I mean, there's a difference thing between like if they were all getting together and you had like 300 people having a party on a beach or something. Yeah. Okay, that's a problem.
Right,
but if somebody from Fargo, drives to their lake cabin in Minnesota, what have they really harmed? I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that just seeing license plates is indicative of a problem.
Yeah, no, I'm with you guys on that. Yeah, it's like people.
Yeah, no, and I think it's good that they do get out, and I think it keeps the people sane,
sanity,
and it's good. Yeah, and that's what we need, because the last caller said, who knows how long this is going to last, and does anybody know?
We don't.
So you have to, like you say, you have to just keep the motion moving and keep yourself going. Yeah, your social distancing, I get it. You have to do that. Yeah. I mean,
but you're right. People got to keep it. Well, it's funny because Alex and I now on a Saturday, you know what our date is? We get in the truck and we'll just drive somewhere. Like we drove, through downtown Fargo 2 weekends ago. Didn't get out, just drove through North.
I did that on Sunday.
Fargo.
Just drove around town just to see what was going on.
That Saturday we did the same thing. We had to go run some errands, some stuff we had to get. Then we drove we drove through the mall parking lot just to see how it's dead around here. We just drove around. You got to do that for sanity. Eric, appreciate it. Rob, we didn't get to anything else.
That's all right.
We had fun with this. And,
I'm not sure we call it fun.
No, we get to talk to people, so we're doing our social distancing with the radio. All right, I got about 20 seconds. What's your next Plain Talk podcast?
Well, I'm going to be working on a guest. I think we're going to talk with. Politics is marching on. Somebody was telling me the other day they had a candidate come to their door collecting signatures to get on the ballot over the weekend. And they're like, "Why is this still happening?" Because they have to. It's the law. Right. They don't have a choice. So, going to be covering. I'm going to try to get on some politics issues on the podcast this week. And hey, Jake. Rethink the mask, buddy.
All right, I'll rethink the mask. Taxes, we're going to talk it next, Jay Thomas.
Hi, I'm Kevin Wolf, President.